Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome to another video. We've conquered, we've completed, we've demolished all of the Super Dragon Ball Hero showcases. We've completely demolished all of them. Of course, we're not done. We're not finished. There's still there's still more to come. And of course, that is us. I'm immediately not sure what I want to do here. You have to be here. We're gonna pop a Whis. I think that's just probably the safe bet. We've done all of them, so now it's time to do the next phase in our hero extermination plan. No, our next phase, which is to try all of these units, or the majority of the units, of course, in GT Goku event and ESBR, potentially SBR as well. But I mean, if they can do well in ESBR. Do you really need to try them in SBR as well if they can do well in ESBR? That's kind of... Oh, we actually got the guard off. We must have, because there's no way a Whis would have tanked for that much damage without him super attacking yet. So we must have that guard coming off. That 30% chance to guard coming in clutch right there. Love that. I hate the chance to guard, but like if you're going to have the chance come off more often than not, then I'm all here for it. Yeah, the only two units that I'm thinking I might not do soul videos on, like we are doing our first one here with the Super Saiyan 3 Dokkan Awakened Vegeta, who unfortunately does actually have the same name as the Strength EZA one, but I'm not going to not bring the EZA one because he's here doing what he does best, which is tank. I should have left those for the GT Super Saiyan for Vegeta. That's a little bit silly of me. But we're just gonna have to firm the L and continue on. But yeah, I am thinking that the Super Saiyan Xeno, Goku, and Vegeta, I might not do videos on them, using them in ESBR, because they'll be really good in GT Goku event, but primarily because of the fact that they stack attack and defense. And they don't just stack it, they greatly raise attack and defense on Super, which is 50% each time. So they'll be great there because you know, it's a longer drawn out event. You know, you can build up their attack and defense, you can stall and make sure you build it up even more by the time you get near the end, and they should be more than capable. Their damage output might not be insane in terms of the actual raw damage they do to Goku, but it will still be acceptable and somewhat decent chip damage, and their defense is going to be more than capable for them to take like double digits on a basic, you know, maybe 100k or less on a super attack, depending on how much you've built them up by the time you get to the end. But when it comes to ESBR, they're really not built for it. They're not built for it in the slightest. You know, they literally just get attack and defense plus 120. You're usually, or typically, shall I say, not in... No, we need to save those. We need to save those for SSJ4 Vegeta. You're typically not in like a battle or a phase of really? Okay, let's hope that we don't get supered by Sorbet. You're typically not in a battle or a phase of ESBR for more than 5-6 turns at a push. And that's literally, you know, for a unit that needs to stack and build themselves up on Super, that's not a whole lot of time. So while they can raise their attack and defense and, you know, work a little bit better over time, it's not ideal, you know, because considering their main passive, or not their main passive, but their passive in general, you're looking at attack and defense plus 120, which you're not going to be hitting big numbers, which they're not damage dealers anyway. Their main role is support, of like, obviously. And then they get an additional attack plus 100%, you know, if there's another Goku or Vegeta family category ally on the team respectively. So, as I said, they're not putting out the biggest numbers. They don't have good defense. They're only good after you've really built them up. And with them being Super Dragon Ball Heroes units and not like Dokkan Fest, etc., you really need to take the time to build them up. So ESBR really isn't the place for them. So, as I said, I probably won't take them into ESBR just because I already know they're not going to be great here. But I may change my mind. I might try and attempt a few runs, like take it, record it, and if they manage to, like, you know, if it's somewhat acceptable of a run, or they're capable in ESBR, maybe I'm wrong, then I'll post comment afterwards and then upload it and, you know, be like, hey, I was wrong. This is how they did. But off the glance of their passives and like their kit in general, yeah, ESBR just probably isn't the one for them, just because, as I said, they're not built for it. So that additional is clutch because we have 3k HP. So that additional is huge. So yeah, they're just not really built for it. So I probably won't do one on them. As I said, I might attempt it and then post comment if they are somewhat capable. But yeah, they're probably the only two I might not use in ESBR. I'll definitely use them in GT Dokkan because that'll be a lot of fun there. But definitely not ESBR. And then there might be a unit or two that I double up with just because they work well together. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. So in terms of links, this is probably my best bet. But again, there's so many attacks there that I can't not have him in that first slot right now. But yeah, now that we've got all that out of the way. In fact, no, we have one more thing that I do want to ponder to you guys, or want to ask you guys. It's not really a question. And that's about doing Demon Slayer, online ranked Demon Slayer once a week, or at least once a week. I already upload Demon Slayer anyway, but with the amount of Dokkan content there's been recently, I kind of put it to the side and come back when, there's not a lot going on, but when there's not as much as this going on. I don't want to feel like I'm bombarding you with content, even though I've been uploading ridiculous amounts of videos each day through Dragon Ball Heroes, and we've done really, really well. So maybe I'm kind of wrong on that, but that's just me personal. That's how I feel. I just don't want to just bombard you with content left, right, and center. But yeah, it's not that I won't upload it. It's not that I don't want to. It's just I feel more inclined to do so, and I won't feel like I'm bombarding you with content. So if seeing online ranked Demon Slayer each week is something that interests you, then let me know down in the comments. Would you be interested in seeing? Because I said, it's not like I'm not going to do it. I feel more inclined to do so. Would you like to see, or would you want to see at least one Demon Slayer? I keep going to say Demon Slayer. Would you want to see at least one Demon Slayer video a week on the channel? I might find an actual day to do it. Like, not just any day, like an actual pick a day, like Wednesday or Saturday or something. But yeah, is that something you would want to see? At least once a week, there'd be one Demon Slayer, like at least one Demon Slayer. Why am I struggling to say Demon Slayer? Would you like to see at least one Demon Slayer video a week on the channel? If that's something that interests you, do let me know down in the comments. I said, it's not something I won't do or don't want to do. It's just, with all the content that's going on, as I said, I don't want to feel like I'm bombarding you lot. So at least if you let me know, yes, coming up big with a 5 dodge, at least I'll feel more inclined to at least have one each week rather than none at all, and then come back with a video or two. So do let me know. That'd be very useful to know. But yeah, using my boy, the newly Dokkan Awakened Super Saiyan 3 Fizz Vegeta. I said he's not linking with the Strength Easy A Vegeta, which is kind of annoying, but I mean he's here to tank. So I mean, if we need to put him up front and we need to lose a few links, you know, we'll do that. But yeah, for the most part, I feel like he'll be so far he's actually doing quite well in this ESBR run. He does have the potential to be amazing here, which he actually shown he can be. It's just I'm not a fan of a chance to guard, and having a medium chance, there's only a 30% chance to guard. It's just, it can be risky, which is why I would really love if Dokkan added a feature where it kind of, you know, for example, as the next turn starts, right? You know, it comes up. Yeah, we're gonna have to do that. You know, it comes up with, you know, the little effect with the unit's face, and like their passive pops up for like the three units currently on rotation. I would love if Dokkan implemented on the units that have chances to guard, like, you know, 30-50% to guard, 30-50% chance to guard, like maybe even 70% chance to guard. But as long as it's a chance, I would love if Dokkan implemented, as that screen was coming up, or as that effect was coming up, being like, here's the units on rotation, here's their passives, here's what's coming off. There was like a little symbol, maybe like next to the unit that has the chance to guard, that indicated that they are guarding this turn. Whereas units that have chances to guard, you don't know if they're guarding or not until you get hit, which by that point could be far too late. Do you know what I mean? So Dokkan, one future update, if you could implement a way of knowing your unit is guarding on a rotation or in a turn, that would be amazing. Primarily before you get attacked, but that would just be huge. I would actually love that feature if you knew that. It's so annoying that you're like, for example, with this Vegeta, like medium chance to guard. Okay. You know, you're obviously not going to rely on it, but you know, you start, you know, you maybe don't pop an item because maybe the rest of the rotation is fine. You're like, okay, as long as he's guarding, we're good. You're about, you know, you're literally like an attack deep, he gets hit immediately, like, oh shit, he's not guarding, that's it, run's done. Like, as I said, if Dokkan, if you could implement that, that would actually be fantastic. Like, just some type of representation of your unit is guarding before you start the turn. Like, it would be such a good feature. Like, I would love that to be in the game. I really would. But enough about that. I've been rambling. Let's cover my boy. So immediately on Super, so as long as he's like in slot 2, he should work fine. On Super, he raises attack by 50% and defense by 30%. The extra defense will be nice to get off, especially in an event like ESBR where you're getting attacked by multiple enemies, you know, 2 minimum at all times. So get that extra 30% defense for 6 turns, which is usually around about the average time you're spending in each fight or each phase. So he's kind of set for the majority of the fight, even though you'll be super attacking a lot of the time anyway, as long as you don't have key issues. So it doesn't really matter, but still, he's kind of set for the entire time, or the entire time you're in that phase. You know, the attack and defense plus 120, which majority of the Dokkan Awakenings and EZAs got in this celebration. Not sure why, but they did. Also, the attack and the additional attack plus 10% up to 60, and defense and the chance of performing a crit goes up by 5% up to 30% with each attack received. While building up a passive where you need to receive attacks isn't ideal in ESBR, to get the defense up and even the crit chance, well, mine's rainbowed, but still an extra percentage chance to crit isn't a bad thing. With the extra defense, you know, it's not the worst because it only gets built up. Actually, it's the same. You need to be hit by 6 times. You need to be hit 6 times. So, while it's not ideally to have that in ESBR, it's not overly the worst, if that makes sense. But that is all dependent on if you super attack first. You know, it's somewhat bearable, if you will. But then also, if you super attack first and that medium chance to guard comes off, then you're taking basic, you know, on basic attacks you're taking double digits. You're not taking a whole bunch on supers. So if that medium chance to guard comes off, getting that stacked up 6 times, really? I missed that one? I don't get how I missed 2, but alright. Getting that stacked up 6 times on your passive isn't overly the worst thing in the world. If the medium chance to guard comes off, it's fine. If it doesn't, not ideal. But the extra defense, not even the attack. The attack's nice and all, but the extra defense will be nice. His damage output's not bad anyway, but the extra defense will be quite nice to have, especially in an event like this, where the damage coming from like every angle is just ridiculous. Again, medium chance to guard, which is a 30% chance, which I'm not a fan of, but so far it does look like we've been quite lucky with the RNG and the guard has indeed come off. So maybe not the worst thing in the world, because I said it looks like the guard has been coming off for us, which is obviously a very good thing. Quite annoying that I couldn't save the Dokkan attack for this turn, but what can you do? It kind of is what it is. So there is that. As I said, I do not like the chance to guard. But then again, maybe if he had, you know, guaranteed guard in his passive, same with potentially the Trunks as well, because he has a high chance of guarding, but maybe if they had, you know, guaranteed guard in their passive, maybe it would be somewhat too overpowered, even though it looks like some units are just ridiculously cracked in Dokkan anyway. But maybe it's their way of having some type of balance. I don't know, but yeah, maybe he'll be too cracked with that. But I mean, if he did have the guaranteed chance, not even chance, maybe if he did have the guaranteed guard, maybe it'd be too powerful. Maybe my boy Jeets would be too strong. But all I know is he would be such an amazing, like, just general pool unit if he did guard at all times. But still, if the guard does come off, I mean, fantastic. It means you're not taking no damage or hardly any damage in a turn or in a rotation. Also, if the guard does come off, it helps with building up his passive, receiving those 6 attacks. And then this is where I prefer the GT one. This is where this one kind of, like, if he guards, if you kind of stop it there, the rest of the passive I'm not a huge fan of for this Vegeta. But I don't even like this. hoping we can stun, actually. That'd be great. But like, if the medium chance of the guard comes off, he's a pretty decent unit, like well-rounded unit and quite solid defensive unit. Again, it's a chance, so it's not always going to come off, so it can be quite risky, so definitely don't rely on it. And it's the last part of his passive which I'm not here for, which is, with each stat received, medium chance of guarding all attacks, and if HP is 60% or less. So basically, it's nice to have an either like and or condition. But the only thing with this one is you have a medium chance of guarding all attacks, which is, I'm not a fan of it in itself, but I guess there's kind of a bonus, which is he does have a chance to guard at least than not guarding at all. In general, I'm just not a fan of it, because if it doesn't come off, it could cause problems for your run, or it could just generally be run over. The kind of and or condition, or and if condition, which is and if HP is 60% or less, high chance of guarding all attacks. Again, you can kind of have, and this is a very, very slight kind of, kind of pro, if you will. And that's the fact that it's and if 60% HP or less, you get a high chance of guarding. Like you go up to a 50% chance to guard rather than 30%. But you have to have 60% less or 60% HP or less, which is, it's not great. It is really not great. I've said this in his showcase. That's part of his passive that I'm not a fan of. Like, I'm already not a fan of a chance to guard. But then to get to go up to a 50% chance to guard, to get that extra 20% chance, not guaranteed. If that was guaranteed, I'd probably say, do you know what, risk it. But since it's still a chance to guard, because you have to have 60% HP or less, and ESBR is not an event where you want to be sitting on 60% HP or less. Like, you want to be keeping as much HP as possible, conserving your items. It's why you take bulky, tanky units that can dodge, guaranteed guard, damage reduction, all that good stuff, right? Having a unit that you need to have 60% HP or less to get a chance of guarding, just a slightly more increased chance to guard, in an event like this, it just is really, really not the one. Like, it's just not the one in the slightest. I might pop an item here, but I feel like we'll be fine. Like, I feel like I'll be wasting it. We're still on turn 4, so we still have Vegeta's damage reduction. We're going to go for it. So yeah, while there is a slight pro to it, which is, oh, you have a higher chance to guard, it's still a chance, and you have to have 60% lower HP, which in an ESBR run, yeah, that's you're playing with fire. Like, it's risky. If it comes off, fantastic, and if you guard, fantastic. But yeah, it's just a bit too risky for my liking. Like, I do not like that part of the passive at all. And the fact there's a chance to guard in that just makes it even worse. We didn't stun again. We're not getting lucky with the stuns. And of course, the major benefit is if the guard does come off, regardless if that's the medium chance or if you have HP at 60% or less, and you get the high chance to guard, whichever guard it is that comes off, you will get the reduces damage received by 40%, which can be fantastic here. We literally survived by the pews on my balls. We have what, 7k HP? Yeah, that could have been run over, and we are now done. Are we not done? I was gonna say, you're taking a bit of time to pop up the KO screen. But yeah, by all means, like, at least if the guard does come off, you get the damage reduction by 40%, which I think more often than not in that run, the damage reduction actually came off. Which, in terms of, that's actually quite lucky in terms of RNG, which, cool. As I said, major plus, major brownie points. If that chance comes off, regardless if it's the medium or the 50% chance comes off, and you get the guard, as long as you've super attacked and your defense is already up, you've stacked a bit or even stacked max, you've already maxed out the stack on the passive, and then you get the damage reduction, he's going to be tanking very well. I mean, you saw him take double digits quite often or not at the time, but if the guard doesn't come off, he can be a little bit risky. well, maybe not risky, but he can be susceptible to a decent amount of damage. Other than that, he's a pretty solid unit for ESBR. He works. It's just the chance to guard, personally, for me, I really don't like it. If you don't mind it, by all means, but if it does come off, he works really well in ESBR. I mean, you saw it there. If it doesn't come off, you know, again, as I said, you're susceptible to damage. But I mean, in terms of any team you run on, Vegeta's family, he'll work well. Pure Saiyans, when Super Vegeta comes out, he's the best character in the game. He can work well there. Super Saiyan 3, they've had a huge buff. Eventually, when Bardock gets his EZA, going to work really well there as well. He's going to work really well in a lot of the categories you run him on. It's just, he's going to work really well if RNG is in your favor for the guard. Other than that, he can still probably work or just essentially perform in ESBR. You know, with the raising attack and defense on Super and getting him stacked up a bit, you just have to be a bit more kind of careful and work your items around him. But if the guard's coming off, which is why I really want to feature that you get to know that you're guarding as the turn starts, which will be very useful, so you don't have to rely on it, then he's fantastic here. But that all depends on if the chance comes off, depending on how good he is. But other than that, he's capable of winning ESBR, which I'm impressed with. Goku event, we're going to have to see. I don't know. I feel like he would be better here compared to Goku event, but let me know what you think of him down in the comments. That's the first one out of the way. I'll see you in the next video, guys, and peace.